That is Jo McClain Thomas. She is the Texas woman who was robbed and murdered by Ray James Holden back in 2019. Holden was a cable repairman who performed a service call on the victim's home the day before she was killed. Now, Charter Communications, the cable company that employed Holden, has been ordered to pay $7 billion in punitive damages to the victim's family. Charter, who also owns Spectrum, hired Holden without verifying his employment history, which would have revealed that he had lied about his work history. The verdict also includes punitive damages and for forged documents that the company tried to use in an attempt to prevent a jury trial from happening. So we posted about this story to our Court TV social media pages, and we asked you, our 13th juror, do you think this $7 billion award is fair? We begin with our 13th juror comment of the day from Otto, who says, quote, seems excessive, but anyway, I'm sure a message has been sent to corporate companies. Otto, thank you for that. Got my think tank with me on this one. Brian Watkins, I'm going to go to you first on this one. What do you think of Otto's comment there? This sending a message, doesn't it?
Well, you know, we also do personal injury and wrongful death cases, and we get some big verdicts like that. But the question is who's directly responsible? Sometimes you'll get a big verdict and they award the percentage of responsibility. So clearly the majority of the responsibility is going to fall on the killer, who often does not have that type of money. And so what type of responsibility is on the cable company? It may be a small percentage, but they did want to send the cable company a message because of, you know, this is a punitive damages award. So because of their misdealings with the case, they wanted to send them a message. Now, a judge is going to lower that verdict. They're not going to get $7 billion, but the message is sent.
Appreciate it, Brian. Next comment comes from Nico. He writes, tonight they should pay more just for their shoddy business practices. Watch me get data throttled now. LOL. Nico, so funny. Philip Dubé, what do you think of Nico's comment, please?
No, I understand the sentiment, but by the same token, you know, companies slip up in their hiring practices and in their background checks. Not that I'm condoning it, but if you keep awarding these types of damages because you have a runaway train for an employee, they're not going to do business. They're going to pull out and nobody's going to have cable. They're just not. So you need tort reform to, you know, rein in these types of really, really excessive punitive damage awards from juries. And I agree with Brian, the judge is going to knock it down because they do have tort reform where I believe punitive damages, if I'm not mistaken, are capped at $750,000 in Texas.
You'll like the next comment then. This one comes from Christina tonight, who writes, quote, who gets this $7 billion? What they did was horribly wrong, but $7 billion? Vonda Sargent, what do you think? Christina questioning this, do you agree?
No, I don't. And I definitely think tort reform is akin to everyone should die if they commit a crime. That's pretty much the same. There are three types of damages. There's compensatory damages, there's special damages, and then there are punitive damages. And all three types of damages serve specific purposes. Compensatory damages are to compensate the person who has been harmed and to make them whole. Special damages are for medical bills and for out of work and anything that is directly out of your pocket. And then punitive damages is to send a message to make certain that that company and any other company that is similarly situated does not engage in that act and then that sort of activity. This is not a poor hiring decision. Spectrum bought this company from Time Warner. Time Warner had in place a system whereby they would do a background check on their employees. Spectrum decided, hey, cost-saving measure, we're going to get rid of this system because it costs too much. And instead, we're going to put people in people's homes, their castle, the one place where they should be able to feel safe, and have them go into their homes. And guess what? We didn't do a background check on this guy. He comes back the next day after complaining about not having money and complaining and moaning to his supervisors while I'm going through this very expensive divorce, and then killing this woman. So it's not excessive, and we don't need tort reform.
Gotcha. I wish we had time to read all these comments. They are so good. Thank you all for weighing in. Big thanks to my think tank, Brian Watkins, Philip Dubé, and Vonda Sargent. We'll be right back after this.